Mm. Hello and welcome to Buc Wild. To my left, I have the wonderful jewel of the South, the pearl of Georgia. It is Teresa Baxter. I can see you cringing every time I say that, but I'm
The
going to keep leading with
jewel
it.
of
The
the
jewel of the South. Oh dear. So how are you doing, Miss Teresa Baxter? Oh, Mrs. Teresa.
I'm
Sorry.
doing well, doing well. Um, we had a interesting game on Monday night.
Okay, I'm going to ask you because obviously it's late for me, so I'm watching this game and I'm like mid third, and I'm like, oh, can I just go to bed, turn this shit off, and go to bed?
A lot of people were doing that actually.
Yeah, I've read that
I'm
like
sitting there though. I'm one of those. I can't turn it off. I just can't. You know.
I've, I've
And I
done it.
was looking at it going, what the hell?
I've done it once, and it was the Saints the last time I did it. I think it was that game where we got 3 points or something like that. So thank God for a
Yeah,
field goal kick.
yeah.
But to be honest, to anyone who watches football or anything like that, and you feel your team's down, and they're only down by, let's be realistic, only down by a few points,
Hmm.
2 touchdowns. Don't write it off because that's the beauty of this sport. That's what I love about it. I said to my wife afterward, that's why football's amazing. We had no business winning that game. Our
No,
defense,
we tried not to. We tried our damnedest not to.
we tried our damnedest not to. The defense did enough to keep the points down, which was enough for the offense to go in. And should be a word of warning for Coach Bowles and Coach Leftwich. When you let teams hang around, they can do shit like this.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
more talented the quarterback, the more chance they got. We had it happen to us in Cleveland. We almost had to have it happen with Atlanta. If you leave a team alive and kicking, they will good teams will some teams will punish you. Good teams will definitely punish you. They live for that. It's what we live for.
Yeah.
We had absolutely no business winning that game. It looked like it was a foregone conclusion. I would love to know how many people left the stadium and found out on the way home. Because imagine those Buccaneers tickets aren't cheap no more.
They are not, and I can tell you just, from past experience that a lot of them got up and left in third quarter. They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to stick around here and see this and then have to deal with traffic too. That's
Yeah.
the philosophy there.
I mean, for me, like I said, I can't talk because I was at home, I was watching the game. But I think if I paid money for a seat and stuff, I want to see it to its conclusion because I paid my damn money. I've left one game in my entire life early to catch traffic, and I believe it was a game in London. It was Cincinnati versus the Rams. Maybe I'm going to go with. I can't remember entirely, and it's irrelevant. Both teams were tied, and it looked like no one was scoring. And I think I left with a minute to go in the fourth quarter, and it was a tie. So that was it. That's all she. Well, no, it went to overtime, and I just went, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
I
Well,
had no interest in the game or what. But
people
normally I
would
would skip
also,
by.
you'd think
My,
they would
my,
recognize that you can't give Tom Brady 46 seconds, let alone 4 minutes.
we've seen this, but I mean, there are going to be games where he comes short because he can't do it all the time. He can't be
Can't do it
Superman every
all.
single time. But there's a good chance that this can happen.
Hmm.
There's a good chance that this can happen.
It's a
Um,
better chance that it will than it won't. That's
mhm.
how we roll.
Hey, we take it. We take it to this week, and we now have the 49ers. I'm I'm not. When I first heard about this, the quarterback that they have in Brock Party, I thought, yeah, it's gonna be a cakewalk. And then I looked at this kid's stats, what he got in that game. He weren't poor, and it's not
Yeah,
like he went against a slouch defense. He went against the Miami Dolphins. They're not amazing on defense. They're more an offensive football team. But to be able to hang with them and put up points, he put up 2 touchdowns. This
right.
team, this guy isn't bad. Now, I'm hoping with our defensive savvy and Coach Bowles' ability to mix pressure with coverage, that we will be able to get home and we will be able to take some picks. Because I think it's going to be the defense that has to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. The defense has got to step up and start intercepting the balls or causing fumbles or something. They were so good at it the last 2 years, and they're not doing it this year. And I understand there's been injuries all over the place, but they got to
We're
make it
better
happen.
getting off on third down, though, aren't we?
Hmm?
We're better on getting off on third down.
Uh,
You say that we've only get we've got to have been good at getting people off on third down if we're not getting into turnovers, because
yeah,
we're only allowing teams to score on average less than 20 points. So that means that's less than 2 touchdowns. That means we stop drives. It
we
doesn't
do.
look pretty at times.
No, and usually, I mean, there have been cases where we've stopped the drive, and there's been cases where they've just made mistakes and stopped the drive.
Oh, for sure. But that's the thing of football. You just sometimes that happens. Sometimes teams shoot themselves in the foot, and sometimes teams just get unlucky because the defense was called up well and they got it right, and
We
that was
do
it.
that. We shoot ourselves in the foot.
Oh, for sure.
We do. I mean, we have so many stupid penalties. Donovan Smith.
Yep.
I mean,
And Donovan Smith has come out and said that he's going through personal issues. So give me
I
your opinion on this.
yeah.
What do you think's going on?
If he's having personal issues, I'm sorry, but it's just like anybody else with any other job. You have to leave it at the door.
Mm-hmm.
Get about your job and then go back to your personal problems. I didn't have that much sympathy for Tom Brady, what he was going through. That was his personal life. When he came out on the football field, he's supposed to be Tom Brady.
I mean, I never want to be one of those people who says that they should deal with this and they should deal with that, because they're human beings, they're not robots and what have you. And we don't. The case of this is the thing I don't like about it is don't bring it up saying it's kind of like going. It's like when someone says, I'm going to offend you, but no offense, and then decides to offend something about you. So they go, no offense, but, and then they say something that offends you, and you're like, well, no, that doesn't mean I don't get to take offense. It's a kind of like that when someone makes such a statement. They're
right.
like, I don't want to make a big deal about this, but I'm going through some shit. And it's like, but I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, well, hang on, you can't turn around to us and say, I'm going through crap, so everyone give me some leeway. And I'm fine to. I really am. Maybe for all I know, his mum's going through cancer, or she could be knocking on death's friggin' door. And I get that. That's going to be distraction. But if you don't want to talk about it, don't bring it up.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I have no problem with people having personal issues and stuff going on. It's called life, and it happens. And I can tell you sometimes, if you're going through a divorce or you've lost a loved one, you're probably not going to be tip top when you're at work. I get that. And I'm completely sympathetic. What I don't like is to turn around and go, I want my privacy and I want to think, but I want you all to know you've got to give me some leeway because I'm going through some personal crap. And it's like, okay, well, you're going to just have to nut up because we don't know what your personal crap is because you're not sharing it with us. You turn around to us and say, my personal crap is my daughter's going through leukemia or whatever. Fucking dude, I will say, you can give them as many sacks as you want. You just don't need to be on the field right now. We'll put someone else in there for you instead. If you can't do your job, that's fine. We'll put someone else there. You go deal with what you need to deal with. But you can't turn around to me. Well, he didn't say me personally. You can't turn around to Buccaneer football fans, and he's kind of saying, "Yeah, I'm not playing very well, and it's because I'm going through some crap that I don't want to talk about." That's not that, and it might be deeply personal. It might be, but you can't say that. You've just got to have to take your lump. If you turn around and tell us, we might be more people will be sympathetic than they will because they go, he's going for that crap. That's some tough shit to deal with. We just had Devin White lost his father. We've had some players step up and some players shrivel up. It depends on the situation. It depends on the bleak outness. It depends on how long it's been going on for. There's so much more to this. And that's the frustrating, is the fact that he's just turned around and went, I've got problems, so you need to all understand that I'm playing poorly, but there's a reason for it. I'm just not going to tell you.
But that doesn't. He's reverted back to 2019, 2020, where he wasn't playing good, and Tom had to whip his butt into shape, basically.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
That to me is not an excuse. That to me is a cop out.
And like I said, when it comes to personal issues, I never want to get after someone. But the thing that makes it a cop out to me is because the fact that he is saying, "I've got a problem, but I'm not telling you." That's my problem with what he's saying. If he turned around and said, "I've got a problem with this, I'm dealing with this crap, this," some of us who've been in his shoes will probably be able to relate and go, yeah, I completely get why he's not doing it. But then maybe he should be taking a step back.
Mm-hmm.
He's unable to do his
But then again, on the flip side of that, though, who's he going to take a step back to?
I don't know, but if you can't deal with football right now because it's too much, then you shouldn't be playing.
True.
That's just the way that's just the way I'm looking at it. Like I said, I don't think I'm right. It's just how I think I would approach it. It's like if I'm physically not invested in this because I've got other things on my mind, because I can't fully invest in it and I'm playing poorly, then maybe I should just let somebody else have a shot. And yeah, the people behind him probably are nowhere near his talent level. So then the people have either just got to suck up and go, he's dealing with some crap and he's going to try and fight through it, or he has no business playing. Let's go and put somebody else in there. There's only two ways. I just don't want to get after someone because we don't know what that guy's going through.
No.
It could be real, like, dark stuff. Like,
it could be.
Think of the worst thing you could think of. What could happen to a human being on a normal level. And I don't even want to fathom some of the stuff out there. But there's children ill, terminally ill. It could be family members, all that kind of stuff. And it could be something as simple as a divorce. I honestly don't know, and that's why I don't want to ever judge the book by what I'm seeing. But what I'm saying is, if you can't mentally check in with this team, then you mentally can't check out too. You need to check out, let someone else have a role, because ultimately you're hurting this football team by what you're doing. Give somebody else a shot, get yourself right, and come back next year. I don't want you coming here going, oh, I'm playing poorly, and I want you to all understand that I'm playing poorly because I have a problem, a deeply personal problem that I don't want to talk about. And that bothers me because, well, at the end of the day, you're asking for a free pass for your subpar play. And then we're not allowed to know because of your privacy. And I'm like, okay, I respect the privacy, but we're criticizing your performance on the field, and that is public. Right. You have to accept it. You can't have one or without the other. That's the only way I go with Donovan Smith on this. I like the guy. I've seen a lot of the stuff that he does for charity, and he's always a very likable personality. He's been up and down in Buccaneer estimations. He did have 2 really good years with the Bucs in the last 2 years. But yeah, just turning around going, I got personal crap, and then walking out on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And another thing, just to add on this, to finish it off, is with Devin White's poor play. We don't know, and we heard that his father passed away suddenly. We don't know that he was actually ill.
Right.
And they thought he was going to survive, and it was a freak turnout, but he might have been quite ill to a point that it was worrying him and stressing him out that he was playing poorly on the field. So I'm delighted. I just want everyone to understand there's a human factor to all this, but at the same time, if you're going to come out and make excuses, we need to hear the excuse, to be honest. Turning around and saying, oh, teacher, I didn't finish my homework. Why? Well, I'm going through some stuff. What stuff? Don't want to talk about it. Then I want my assignment completed.
Yeah.
You're going to have to bring in the note. You know what I'm saying? We got a few comments here. So Christopher Cole, hi, everyone. Just got home from my nephew's wedding. I hope you had a good time. Had a couple of sherbets and enjoyed yourself. Jason Swade. My favorite time of the week, time for us to get Buc Wild. Hi, Teresa. And, of course, my Snuggle Muffin Slick.
Snuggle Muffin.
Oh, Jason Swade, smooth forward.
I do like Snuggle Muffin.
Snuggle Muffin. It's not a word I'm used to, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Not used to too many men calling me. I did not just assume your gender, Jason. I did not just assume your gender. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Get that pronoun.
I don't have I used to have a problem with the pronoun thing, and then I just realized, does it really affect me? And I went, no. Do I really care? No. I think the problem I have with it, and I don't want to talk too much about it because this is the Buccaneers football show. Yeah. My biggest problem with it is when people get upset that people gave them the wrong pronoun. It's like, well, we do this thing called the eyeball test, and if we read male or we read female, that's what we're going to call it until we're corrected. Someone says, excuse me, I would prefer to be called they, them. I'll be like, absolutely, no worries. I will call you they, them all the time.
I go with y'all a lot.
That's easy.
Y'all in the
That's
South
pretty much it.
encompasses
Y'all.
everything.
I wish I could say y'all. I can write it and feel good about it. If I say it, it doesn't feel as it feels a bit. It feels wrong. Like I feel like I'm an honorary Southerner, not an actual Southerner.
Well, you can be honorary.
I'll
That's all
take
good.
honorary. We got Hammy the Jammy.
Slicky.
Wow. There we go.
Have your fan club, dear.
Yeah. Oh no, these boys do the rounds in all of the book report shows, including Ben's new one that he's got going. He's getting a lot of fun in it there. I was on there last night. I was a little bit sozzled. I do apologize for anyone with my bad language, but hey, sometimes it happens.
Yeah, no, it happens.
Yeah.
Ben's out there under the Ben zone. He's told people to get Buc Wild with us. So
he always does, and he's fantastic for it. To bless him.
Thank you, Ben.
Remember, guys, hit that like button, strip the subscribe button, sack that notification button, and you can intercept me or Teresa in the comments. And if you guys really want to get bold and get wild, ask. If you want a link, we'll put a link out for the show. You can come join us and say your piece. We're more for it. That's what we're about on Buc Wild.
Yep. Absolutely. We'd love to have you guys on here, giving opinions, talking about it. Love it.
It's how I started doing shows.
We ain't scared.
Clicking that link. Clicking on that link and having my 5 minutes of a quick chat and going out. We got Sean Spencer. Good stuff, guys.
Hi, Sean. Thanks.
Much appreciated.
Okay, so let's go. The Saints game, miracle we won. Like I said, you can't give Tom Brady 40 seconds, let alone 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do that 2-minute drill that he does so well. And it seems like everybody wakes up to it.
For sure. And the thing is, why it works so well is everyone's in prevent defense, which is closer to generally closer to zone, which means this team likes to stretch the field. This team likes to stretch the field. They use the length of the field rather than width, and we'll come to that in a different part. What that means is your back end guys are further back, so there's this little spot in the middle that's wide open. So you just get somebody into there, and you just complete, and eventually they'll have to play something else. But it allows you to get down the field.
I'm impressed with the way he has connected with Rachaad White and with Cade Otton. He's really developed a rapport with those two.
I generally think we need to see more of these players in this team that don't have I wouldn't say the resume or the big name player or what have you, because these are the ones that sneak through the cracks that can score touchdowns here and there. I was just reading that now, and the other being I didn't play for you all, but if his play earned him a job. Absolutely, he was fantastic. So I got a lot of love for him, and why he hasn't got a deal with Heineken, I don't know. That's a missed opportunity in my opinion. Got to get that Heineken beer thing.
I'm thinking it's Dan Snyder wanting to win now, and he wants some name to come in and do it for him.
Sure, I think so too.
But he's part of the reason people tend to think that we don't play well against rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, I get that. It's because you don't have to. Realistically, you don't have a lot of tape on them. You don't have a lot of information on them. You don't know their tendencies. You don't know what they like to do on third down. You don't know what they do on fourth down. You don't know what they like to open with. You don't know who their favorite receiver is. You've got to dissect basically a small amount of game film and try and build something from that. And that not necessarily is the makeup of that person, because they've just come into the game. So it's very difficult. But it is what it is.
How far in the game did Purdy come in last week? For the 49ers.
Sorry?
I said, how far into the game did he come in?
If I look at the Miami Dolphins at San Francisco, I believe, and so take this as this will, I'm going to go with the fact that he probably joined in the second quarter, maybe middle of the first. Reason being, Jimmy Garoppolo only had 4 passing attempts.
Okay.
So I would guess like he would have easily 4 passing attempts within the first quarter. Now I wouldn't, unless I looked by drive, I wouldn't 100% know, and I could probably find that out.
Then we've got about a game's worth of tape on him, so we do have
Brock Purdy
something.
scored in the first quarter. He scored in the first quarter, a 3-yard pass to Kyle. Can't pronounce his last name, so I'm going to do my just check. I'm going to go with that. If anyone wants to correct me, I do apologize, Ryan. Just check. Don't have a Polish name or a Eastern European name. Make it more pronounceable. Now, I'm only kidding. Stick to your ethnicity. Stick to who you are. But it is difficult. Some of these names are difficult to pronounce. I would like to point that out.
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Ben Cornett, the king of multimedia at the moment. He is everywhere, and I tell you what, that guy is posting so much as well. Like, damn, he makes my stuff what I do once a day, and I've been off my game for the last 2 weeks. I've been off my game because I've been having to do all my course stuff ready for this upcoming season, football wise. So I have to have all my ducks in a row and ready to go. So
right.
Unfortunately, I found out that my credentials for coaching are about to go out of date, so I have to redo them all quickly just before the season starts. So it's been a kind of a mad rush. So I've done barely any content stuff. I've been doing shows, but I haven't done the stuff in the middle.
Right.
Ben, no, you do. You do a lot of posting. You should take what you're doing at Ben Zone is absolutely commendable. You should be really proud of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm proud of you. So. And anytime you need me, brother, you send me that message. I'll do my damnedest to come on. Unless I've got alone time with the wife or the kids are running around in circles, I'm always going to try and come on, brother.
It might be fun to have the kids run around in circles.
No, it's not. It's not the circles. It's them bumping into each other, hitting each other, fighting with each other, and the noise generated from those annoying children. I love them to pieces, but they drive me nuts sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Mine did the same thing. And it doesn't get any bigger when they're older, I'll tell you.
Oh, don't tell me that. I was appreciating the fact that I was like,
you'll love this.
I got so angry with them yesterday, and I went, I wish you two would just grow up and play in your own rooms and never speak to each other.
Yeah, no. This week, my daughter was late to work, because she is. It worked to her advantage this time because they did have a shooting right outside the store she works at.
Wow. So this is the kind of stuff in America that makes me go, oh, okay. Damn.
So you say she never even got in the building.
Oh, yeah, shooting.
They didn't get in the building either, but safety protocol went into place. They sent her home because she hadn't even gotten in the building yet.
Does she still get paid? That's the question.
She did.
That's good. That's good. Because there's nothing. I'm like, damn. People shooting each other. I've lost damn money here. God damn it.
She was calling all of her people, making sure where they were, and most of the people she worked with were all in the cash room, safe, locked in.
Absolutely.
It's just but like she's 24 almost.
Okay.
So it never ends.
Is she like the Buccaneers as well?
She does not give a flip about football.
Okay, fair enough.
She knows that it's going to be on if I can get it. That's about it.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm the football girl. My husband doesn't even care about football like I do.
I know. I remember you saying that you could, like, if you were to go out or what have you, they'll talk football, and he'd be like, "Talk to her. She knows football." My wife's pretty good at it. She don't know like the ins and outs, but she plays fantasy football, and she's very competitive. And she's pretty darn. To be fair, the last 2 seasons she's been pretty darn good. So I'll give her that. And to be honest, it was the smartest thing I ever did. It means I can watch as much Red Zone as I want because she cares because her fantasy team's playing. So she's like, "Oh, I want, we'll stick that on." So we usually have like Red Zone either on in the background or something like that. So yeah, it's been the smartest move I ever made, to be honest.
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see the game tomorrow. I need to find that out.
I sent you a link last time, and you were luckily for the Seahawks game. Luckily, you already had one, so I will do the same again and see if it works. Because I sent it to my wife to say, "Does this work for you?" Just want to make sure. And she was like, "Yeah, it works for me." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, no worries."
All right, I'll try it again.
So we can give that a go and see how that goes.
My biggest problem is, Atlanta plays the same division, so if they're playing, I'm seeing their games.
Yeah. Yeah, because you tried that NFL Plus and it just didn't work for. I don't think it worked for many
doesn't
people.
work. You can watch one live game, whoever they've designated you're watching.
Okay.
You can
Do they
listen
not
to
have
the
tiers
others.
of like what's it a viewing content? So if you like had the basic one, you can view like one team that they pick, or you can just view your team, or you can
It be one game they pick. If Falcons are playing it in the area, if it's on area television, I can't watch that game.
Okay. They're gonna blacked out. Mm.
Yeah,
So
and if
what
it's
would
a
the
package,
biggest
people
takeaway
save your
three?
money. Save your money. Save your money.
There you go. You heard it here first from Teresa Baxter. Save your money. NFL Plus isn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know. I don't use it. We don't have it in this country yet. So
well,
it
I
will.
even went for the expanded package, just to make sure I had all the bells and whistles, and
Just didn't work.
I won't re-up.
Fair enough. I know that Johnny Dean, the professor's had some trouble with it as well. So, I
mean, okay idea, but not. I'm not going to pay for something.
It doesn't work in principle. I'm legally not obliged to say how I watch the NFL.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Telepathy.
Yes, that's exactly it. Radio shows telepathy and paint a very good picture.
Ooh, look at that.
But that's why they call it ESPN. It's ESP.
There you go. All right, we got an interesting game. 4:25 tomorrow.
4:25. Well, I'll be doing pre-game. I think that will be kicking off 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m. I'm not entirely sure. And then and you guys are and then the game kicks off. Was it 4:25?
4:25.
4:25. So to me, that is 25 minutes past 9.
Yeah.
My favorite time for us to play. My kids are asleep. I can have my dinner. I can just sit back and watch the football, and it's beautiful. I don't like the 1 p.m. I don't like the 1 p.m. game because they are 6 p.m. to me, and my kids are still running around, and I still need to get them bathed, fed, and bed. So it can be pretty stressful at that point in time.
It can be.
But I let them stay up to halftime, and that's when they go to bed.
There you go. That's a good plan.
Yeah, and I usually around about 7:30 for me. So, yeah.
Just turn the hose on them outside. There's your shower.
To be honest, they'd probably love that. To be honest, that sounds like well, maybe not now. It's kind of cold. Worcester's had a bit of a cold snap. We've I can do the time conversion. I can't do the temperature conversion because we're in Celsius and you're in Fahrenheit. So it's -3 degrees here. I have no idea what that temperature is in
Fahrenheit. Below freezing, so it's just
it is just below.
Yeah, it's like it's in the 30s here.
Low 30s, it's not nice.
It's not nice.
It's not my. I don't mind being cold, but it's getting a little bit nippy. That's why I've got the Buccaneers represent T-shirt, jumper on, keep warm. The Christmas jumpers.
I don't have one of the.
You don't have the Christmas jumper?
I don't have a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, you don't need it. You live in Georgia.
Yeah.
Is it ever cold in Georgia?
Yeah.
When?
Well, next week it's going to be highs in the 40s, lows in the 20s.
Okay. So you'll be. So I'll have to do them.
Usually, at least once a year, we get a good snowfall.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I did not know it snowed in Georgia. There you go. You've just.
Darling, if it does snow in Georgia, they lose their flipping minds.
It's a bit like India. We're not built for it. It snows here. I wouldn't say every year, but it will snow for like 3 days. Yeah. Only 3 days, and those 3 days are chaos. People don't go to work. People don't want to do this. Oh my god!
I'm going to send you a Saturday Night Live link about when the city shut down over a storm thing. I'll send you the link.
All right. So back to football. What was your biggest takeaway from this game?
Play all 4 quarters.
Yeah.
They came out looking good.
Yeah, they did. Our first drive was pretty sharp.
Do the touchdown, guys. Can still do the touchdown, okay? You don't have to settle for 3.
Yeah.
But then after that, they didn't do a thing until the 4th quarter.
I agree. Defensively, there were a couple of brain farts, but I think on the whole, the defense has been playing. I would say, if I'm honest, I think this defense is playing better than it's ever played. I just wish the turnover differential would be more in our favor, because that's the one thing that we're missing.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We had the Kansas City was an ugly game for us as a defense.
It was.
The Carolina game was an ugly game for us as a defense. But can you remember those games where teams could just always pass the ball on us? Come rain or shine, it didn't matter. They could pass the ball on us, and it was only occasionally that we would break it up on key third downs or key plays where we would intercept the ball or something like that. But it was usually when a team was rolling and we had to like kind of snuff it out. Right now, this defense is playing hard-nosed, and it's good. It's good defensive football. It's just people got to take into mind that we don't have the pass rushes that we've had in the past as well. Like I'm not sold on JTS, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka at all. I think I'm more happy to have Cole Nassib and Anthony Nelson play there. They are better at fitting the run, and I think they're as the same level of pass rusher.
Well, what we have on the injury report this week, the only two doubtfuls on the defense are Mike Edwards and Antoine Winfield Jr.
I'm just going to bring it up.
They're all doubtful.
There we go.
Then we've got Akeem Hicks is questionable.
Yep.
Sean Murphy-Bunting is questionable.
Yep.
And then that's it on the defensive side. Then we've got
so Lenny Fournette's questionable. Tristan Wirfs is doubtful. Antoine Winfield is doubtful. I think that's Mike Edwards. I think that's Mike Edwards. Is also doubtful.
Cameron Brake is full participation.
Yeah. To be honest, when it comes to Cameron Brake, I don't see him like kind of breaking the mold and doing something. And he hasn't had a breakout game for years. So that is partially due to having Gronk in the team. But I want to see K-Dot. I want them to use him more because I think he can disguise things. I think he can do a lot more because he can block, which means he can fake block, which means he can go to the second level and look for a block and then just turn it into a route. Mm-hmm. There's so much more potential what you can do with this offense. And O'Keefe, he's been doing some good things on offense. He doesn't get many catches, but when he does, he's shined a little bit.
Yeah. Now, to our benefit for the 49ers, Nick Bosa is still questionable.
I'm praying to the football gods this week. I'm not a religious person, but I pray to the football gods. I'm hoping, I'm praying that he does not play, because I think with him playing, he's arguably one of the best pass rushers in the NFC.
Oh yeah.
It's him and Myles Garrett right now that I would say are probably the most dominant pass rushers in the NFL right now. And we kept him in check for a while. It's just Donovan Smith started to lose confidence. I don't think he was playing awful until the last two games that we've had.
Right.
I'd say he was serviceable.
It's gotten better, yeah.
He was serviceable at the beginning of the season, but seemed to really lose it halfway through that Browns game, and then just hasn't looked right since. So I don't know what happened. Maybe I don't know, too much going on for that guy's head. He's got to figure it out because he's playing for a contract at the end of the day. They pay him a lot of money. He's one of the highest paid members of this squad. So when you're the highest paid, everyone's looking at you to perform. No one's looking we look at Mike Evans to perform because he gets paid so much. He takes pay cuts, and that doesn't mean we look away. We're still looking at Mike Evans. We're still looking at you. We're still looking at Chris Godwin. We look at Tom Brady. That by association means we have to look at you, Donovan Smith. If you don't want anyone looking at it, take a super easy team-friendly deal, and no one will care.
Right.
Oh, we got this guy who's not amazing at left tackle. How much do we pay him? $4 million. Fine. How much are we paying him now? 13. So, and then we heard about what happened with the Saints. We heard what happens with the Saints game with the dodgy call with the fake injury.
The fake injury,
yeah. Walk into that. Should we talk about
that? I don't know.
Remember, Jordan went down on his knee. Bless him. He didn't look injured at the time, to be honest. But look, I'm never going to judge anybody but the NFL has decided. He even went into the tent. They put him in that blue tent that they pop up. They did all that. Yeah. He must have done something must have happened for him not to be for the NFL to go, this is dodgy. There must have been
this is what the team said. The New Orleans Saints deny any allegations of purposefully delaying the game on Monday evening. Defensive end Cameron Jordan felt foot pain following a third down play and sought medical attention. He entered the blue medical tent and was examined by the medical staff, and following the examination, he was taped and able to finish the game.
Okay.
He had an MRI performed the following day in New Orleans and was confirmed that he suffered an acute mid-foot sprain on his left foot. He's been at the facility each day receiving treatment for his injury he suffered on the play. The Saints are appealing the fines through the proper channels and believe the allegations will be proved incorrect.
Okay, well, maybe they will. But,
and then Cameron Jordan is on Twitter having fit.
He will do. I mean, if let's face it, if it is an injustice, I'm not saying it is. By rightfully, he should be pouting about it because he ain't done nothing wrong. But if he's been caught, I don't think the NFL would levy out fines for no reason. I just don't think they're going to be that stupid. They do the investigation first, and then they would do it. I just don't. I don't know. It doesn't. Something have had to spark their interest. They can't just turn around and go, "Oh, we think you faked an injury." That doesn't work. Something in their protocol was broken, and they went, "Aha, something's not right here." And it can't be that he just went out of the game. I suppose it could be how quickly he went out of the game and back in the game.
Yeah, that could be.
You can't go from feeling a lot of pain that you need to be, I won't say he wasn't carted off, but dragged off the field, go into a treatment tent, and then this next play that's within you coming out of that treatment tent that you're back on, running onto the field, then that's when we are looking going, well, that doesn't seem right, because surely it's going to take, if he skipped the entire drive, then okay, fair enough. He gets ready, he's back in, no worries, no questions asked. But that wasn't this. I mean, I don't know the timeline, but something doesn't smell right.
Right before they, when Tom Brady had everybody still out on the field, then he went down with an injury, and then they decided to kick the ball on fourth down instead of going for it.
Okay. But it is what it is, and they'll just have to get over it.
Yeah.
But okay. It's still good. And I would say, if anyone is going to hit hard, it's going to be his positional coach, because they don't earn a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, they earn a lot of money to me and you, but in comparison to the head coaches are usually, a fair few mil, and then some on top of that. Someone like Dennis Allen is probably at the $3 mil to $6 mil mark, somewhere in that conversation. Cameron Jordan probably is paid a heck of a lot of money. The Saints are a multi-billion-dollar corporation, so for franchise, and that $500K is nothing. And then you've got the positional coach. He probably earns a few $100,000. I would guess he's like between $100,000 to $500,000. And again, I'm just guessing. I tried to search it up, but there's no information. He just signed for 2 years, but it doesn't tell you how much. I guess no one cares how much assistants make. So, So for him, if he's earning like $200,000, and they take 50 million out, 50K off him, that's a big hit. That's a quarter of his salary.
Yeah, true. And by the way, Tavarius Moore, safety, is out. And Hassan Ridgeway is out.
Yeah, I've not heard of those players before, but I don't really follow New Orleans, so.
No, this is the Niners.
Okay. I've not heard of them before. I don't know if they're like starters or anything like that.
I'm not sure. I know Bosa is, but I'm not sure about Ridgeway or Moore.
They don't ring a bell.
Yeah. That's who they have listed as out. And Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, that's it is what it is. And then we also, Tom Brady's got himself a new fan. You heard about this?
Oh, the girl?
Oh, the lady. So here we are. Here she is. This is, if I remember her name correctly, this is Veronica Rajek. Mm-hmm. She is Czech? Slovakian. There we go. Took me a minute. Czechoslovakia, two countries split up. Slovakian. She's a Slovakian lady who obviously I assume lives in America, and she is Tom Brady's biggest fan. And you know what? I decided to be a bit nosy because as soon as I saw this picture and I heard about this story, I had that song. You remember that film Ray?
Long time
with Jamie
ago.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Of Ray Charles's life.
Yeah.
And they did a remix with Kanye West of that song.
I don't remember the song.
Gold Digger. That's all that was going through my head. The moment I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I'm a big fan of Tom Brady. And I just snooped. I had a little snoopful. I went through. I mean, she's a very attractive lady.
She
Kudos
is.
To her.
Are there any pictures with Tom Brady?
Mentioned Tom Brady once until he got divorced. She hasn't congratulated him for winning Super Bowl. She hasn't posted pictures of her wearing his jersey before. And all of a sudden, he's an eligible bachelor, and she's at the game, hoping to get noticed. And what I'm going to say here, and I said this in across the Buck and Pond, was just us looking at her profile is giving her profile a shit ton of traffic because everyone wants to know who this girl is, right?
Right.
She knows just by saying, I really like Tom, even if it means she knows it's not going to happen, but she turns up and wears one of his jerseys and everyone's like, oh, she's beautiful. She shared, I've seen, Johnny Dean's been sharing that girl like no one's business. The only thing I've seen him share, the most thing I've seen him share for ages, that guy's been share. I was like, he's still going. Every outlet. And yeah,
Are there any pictures of the two of them together?
What, her and Tom?
Mm-hmm.
No. She literally just went to the game. I think she's drumming up business. That's all she's doing. And if she's lucky, she gets to meet him and hopefully she can wow him. But she's 26 years old. I do not think Tom Brady's playing with this. And here's the thing. We may not like this person. And I'm not talking about her or Tom Brady. I'm talking about another quarterback that is very well renowned for dating very big celebrities. And I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers dated actress after actress after supermodel after supermodel. That's Tom Brady's stratosphere, not an IG model. They're a dime a dozen. They are a dime a dozen. They usually go after skill positions and hope to become baby mamas. That's pretty much what they do. Sorry to the IG models out there, but
okay, I'm full disclosure. I'm going to be an influencer. I don't want to be anybody's baby mama. That ain't going to happen. If it does, I'm making money off that bank. Okay. But I'm an influencer. I want to influence people to like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, well, technically we are influencers. We are influencing our social medias. This is on social media, so yeah, and her social media is geared up for guys to go, oh my god, she's hot. That's pretty much all she does, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely fine. Sex sells, good, and she's a very beautiful woman.
She's very beautiful.
Kudos to her, but I just don't see this going anywhere. I don't know why. If Tom's winning off the field, he ain't done nothing yet. Tom Brady ain't going to do nothing. If Tom Brady's going to do something with this girl, it's going to be after he's won the Super Bowl. It certainly ain't now. And I don't think he is an IG model type of guy. It's going to be, if Tom Brady starts dating, it's going to be a big profile name. It's going to be someone who can understand his world. It's going to be someone who potentially might be a mum. It might be someone who's been a former sports person or a current sports person. And obviously very, very attractive.
That makes more sense. Because Giselle already had her own brand and everything when they got together.
For sure.
So I don't see him wanting to. She's going to want to put him in all sorts of situations just to get her name out there. So I don't see him going
exactly. And not only that, she's more that kind of party life kind of guy. She's probably better off with a wide receiver, a flashy player, someone who's going to be all cash and flash and like turning up in Louis Vuitton suits and like the Mac Daddy. That's the kind of guy she wants. Tom Brady's not that. I'm not saying that he can't be, but it's not.
He probably could be, but he's making a living right now. Besides the football, he's developing his own brand, and that brand is you get yourself in shape, you keep yourself in shape, and go forward. I mean, he's all about I don't eat this, I don't eat that, and every now and then He has something not.
He has some avocado tequila.
Yeah, on tequila, avocado and tequila.
We
Hey, Jimmy. Where have you been, dude? We were looking for you.
Oh, dude.
Lost you, lost Jason.
Yeah, they'll come back. I'm sure they'll come back. We just need to get Alec on. If we get Alec on, they'll be back. Alec or Alex, the two double A. We get the double A on.
Oh yeah.
We're drowning in comments. But look, I got no problem. I clearly see what's going on. She's added her name into the list. We quite recently, I believe, before her, it was a female golf player, female golf player who's quite a very attractive lady as well. And I was like, yeah, I could probably see that. I could see that because he does like to play golf. They're gonna understand where he's coming from, but he needs to. Like, if you think about it, is how he talks and the way he talks. He's a very family-first man when he's away from football, right? We've seen the memes of mocking his like he obviously didn't want to spend time with his children because he wanted to go back to football. But let's face it, that this is who he is. I just don't. He's very much about his family. His family's the biggest thing in his life.
Right.
A 26-year-old or a 24-year-old girl's not going to understand that.
And I can see at a point where his daughter would start to have something to say about it.
His daughter recently questions going to be asked. I don't know. For me, the way I look at it was.
Thank you, Chris. My husband said he wouldn't want to date a toothpick.
I like that. Oh God.
I'm gonna have to get little buttons made.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, so let's move on. We'll put this one to bed because at the end of the day, we all know what this is.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's attracting a lot of attention, and there are a lot of females interested in dating the GOAT. We know that. Tom Brady's world right now is a humongous stratosphere of heavy listed A-listers.
Yep.
It ain't going to be an IG model. An IG model will be targeting a guy who's coming out of college about to get drafted. That's the kind of guys that IG models go for, because once they get the cash and the flash, they start looking upfield. They start looking at actual models that actually model for a company rather than getting free shit sent to them and then posing on a speedboat.
Right.
But hey, good luck to her. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure her page has been visited. It's been visited by me at least 3 times to have a snoop and take some. I was going to put up a bit of content up with some of her pictures up with the song Gold Digger playing, so I had a good route through. That kind of makes me look a bit pervy, but hey, I'm male. I can get away with it to a degree.
You got your pronoun down.
Yeah, well, you can put me down for sure. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's not going to happen. She's just generated a shit ton of likes, comments, and subscribers to what she does, and good for her. It's a smart move. You say something, everyone flocks to it. Brilliant work.
Absolutely.
Kudos to you, Veronica.
Well, I do want to remind everybody. I've been reminding everybody every week just about. And we got 2 things coming up. We still have the NFL Fan of the Year contest out on NFL.com. Go find Priscilla Williams and vote for the girl. You know, she's going to represent our team. They'll take her out to the Super Bowl, and I don't know what all she gets for it, but we want Tampa Bay to win this.
Yes,
I've met her. She's come up here for the tailgate parties when we play Atlanta, and she's diehard Buccaneer fan. And she dresses up in these really risque, outfits and everything. People just love her though, even without the,
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we want to get our own in, and we want our own to rep. They're going to rep us. It gives our name
vote. It doesn't matter.
On top of that, make sure you get your Pro Bowl votes in, and just on top, because I know you got something you want to add to this as well. Make sure you can get your quarter. I think they used to do a fan vote for the Hall of Fame. I don't know how much of it really takes into account, to be brutally honest, because I voted for Brondé Barber.
I haven't seen that, but I'm going to look for it now. Also, one other thing. when they come to Atlanta sometime in January 8th, we still don't have a time for the game yet, but we do a big old um, tailgate party, and a meet and greet the night before the game. So the meet and greet will be at Views Bar in downtown Atlanta, and I think that starts at 7. I can't remember. But we also have the tailgate party that Sunday right outside of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and it's $35. All you can eat, all you can drink. And I tell you what, these guys know how to queue. It's absolute fantastic time. Fantastic time. In these tailgate parties, we have had up to 600 people there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a great time. We were told by Brian Ford that he could hear us inside Mercedes-Benz doing Tampa Bay stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Guys, you heard it here from Teresa. She is telling you, if you are in that area or you're going to the game as an away fan, check it out. Or you can eat and drink for $35. Hey, if you go and have
you go in the stadium.
you can have a couple of drinks and food to eat in the stadium. That's going to cost you a lot, and it won't be as good because this is probably home cooking. This is barbecue, baby.
Oh, this is good barbecue. Let me tell you, those guys know how to barbecue. And it's
your presence.
The only thing they do all year. The only thing they do is do this tailgate party, and they go all out for it.
Full spread, ready to go. Teresa, will you be attending?
I will.
So we need lots of pictures of you having a good time.
I'll give it my shot.
So we have the 49ers. This is a big one. What do you think? Give me your free keys to what the Buccaneers need to do to snag this win, to kind of just polish it off.
O-line has to come together and protect Tom Brady. Quit running it up the damn middle. It doesn't work. And do a damn touchdown. Do a touchdown. I don't want 3 points. I want 7.
Absolutely. So for me, it's defense needs to get takeaways because I don't feel this team can go up and down. This offense can go up and down the field all day long. I've just read what Hammy said, and I'm trying my best not to smirk, and I'm failing miserably. But at the same time, I want the Buccaneers O-line. What you just said, but I want to add something on top of that. Tom, stop panicking. You're going to have to take a hit. Stop throwing it too damn early because no one's catching your early thrown balls. They even need to kind of find new routes for you and change the route combinations, or we need to start attacking the width of the field rather than the length of the field, because at the moment you're throwing the ball out before the route has even got close to developing.
Right.
And it's hard to watch at times. And yes, as Teresa always says, touchdowns are encouraged, they're expected, and quite frankly, with the GOAT and this much firepower, they're damn expected right now. And they're going to be needed to win this one. This Buccaneer team will not be able to win if they can't score points. I know that sounds cliche, but we saw what this team can do to Miami, and Miami are an 8-4 team. We're 6-6. We need to step our game up big time offensively. I think the defense can do the job. They get an interception here, maybe a little pick six. We can come together and get this going. But that's what it's going to have to take.
Yep.
Teresa, you got anything you would like to add?
No, just I mean, I know they are already, but darn, study that game film on the Niners. Find out what their defense is liable to do.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure that's what they're doing. It's just
like I said, I'm sure
sometimes it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, sometimes they're like, oh, really? We can't do that.
Absolutely. And we recently found out in the last few days that Jalen Darden has been released by the team and he's been picked up by the Cleveland Browns. It will be interesting to see who comes back there as punt and kick returner. Personally, I didn't like the move. I know a lot of people don't like Jalen Darden. Personally, I can understand why. The eyeball test isn't pretty. But when you're averaging 6th best in the league at return yards, I'm kind of okay with what's going on. It could be worse. Now, if the Buccaneers generally think he's playing poor, and want to go in a different direction, why not bring Devin Tompkins in and get him to outplay him? Because what they do in practice, I don't give a shit about. I care about what's happening on the field. And if we go we get someone that's playing worse than him, and I know you're all going, oh, it couldn't possibly be worse. It can be worse.
It can be worse.
It can be worse. And if we've taken a backward step on that, then we look like idiots. We look like this coaching unit looks like it can't coach or evaluate talent. Me personally, my vibe has always been you don't replace a guy until you know you can replace them. And the only way I'm going to see if I can replace that guy is by putting him in dead man's boots. He plays over Devin Tompkins or whoever plays over Jalen Darden. And if he does, that after that game, I turn around to Jalen and say, thank you very much. Pleasure to have your services. I'll see you down the road.
I thought they were saying they had somebody in-house that
they got Devin Tompkins on the practice squad. They got Gio Bernard. I don't know if he's been activated.
Giovanni Bernard, yeah, okay.
And then, of course, Rashad White. But with Leonard Fournette dinged up, I wouldn't want to risk Rashad White in that at all, to be honest. Yeah. It just seemed like a really wild move. I didn't feel like it was a move that needed to be done. It's not like he's not great, but it's not like he's so poor that he's costing us anything. He hasn't fumbled. That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking at a guy. We've seen guys fumble for other teams and what have you, and they've stayed on with that team. It's not like he's playing so poor that he's got.
I just went to the Buccaneers page.
Mm-hmm.
KJ Britt returns to action after missing 5 games, and the rookie duo of Devin Tompkins and Nolan Turner could play on Sunday after being activated from the practice squad.
So Devin Tompkins will probably be returning punts.
Okay.
But we have not seen him return a punt in a live regular season NFL, in a meaningful NFL game, and that's what I had a problem with. It's not the move. I'm okay with the move, but I would have rather him done this and still kept hold of. I mean, I guess what they were hoping was going to happen was no one was going to touch Jalen Darden.
Right.
He was going to go. They were going to put him on waivers. He was going to clear waivers, and he was going to go. When you average 6, someone's going to pick you up. Someone's going to pick you up. It's obvious. I guess I've not heard in the press conference if anyone wants to enlighten us, because I know I haven't. I don't know if Teresa has. We've never actually been told why he was cut.
I don't remember hearing why.
For all we know, it could be a multitude of different things, but it seems unusual to pick a guy who is. I had an argument with someone. They turned around and said, "I said, well, okay." Because his yards per his total yardage is extremely high. I think he's like second or first. And I was like, well, if our defense is so good and we keep forcing punts, he's going to get more and more opportunities, so he's going to rack up the yardage. And absolutely, I completely agree with you. You're 100% right. However, how does that work with the average? And I'm like, well, if you get loads of attempts, you get more average. I went, well, Tom Brady's average yards per attempt are really poor because he's thrown so many passes that have been duds. It lowered the average down. So his average yards per throw are per an attempt are extremely low. So that doesn't work. Tom Brady's the highest in pass attempts and pass completions, but he's not the highest, nowhere near the highest in pass yards per throw. So that defeats that logic of saying you have lots of attempts, your average is going to go up. Not necessarily, because if you're having lots of attempts and you're shit, you're still going to be averagely shit. So that makes no odds to me. I just personally, I just thought the move was too. It was just too. At this time in the season, you're going to go and change your punting kick returner, and one who's not really playing bad. He just looks like Bambi on the field. He really does look like Bambi with the slip in. I get why people got the frustration. Sometimes he runs straight out of contact. It's a business move. I don't have a problem with it if he's not. You got to understand, people. When you play punt returner, 9 times out of 10, guess who's knocking your block off? It's a DN or it's a linebacker. Last I checked, pretty big people. I won't want one of them smashing into me. If I can just dive out into the thing, in realistic terms, what is 2 yards versus getting your bow run? Business decision. I get it. We don't like it. I get that too. It's a business decision. I'm telling you, a lot of people are saying, oh, I'd like to see Scotty Miller return punts because he's so fast. Here's a question I got for the Scotty Miller fans. And I love me some Scotty Miller because he's really shown his route savvy lately. I really like him. I want to see more of Scotty Miller. Can't believe I'm saying that because I was not sold on him at the beginning of the season, but I'm more and more sold on him as the season's gone on. Why don't they use him in those end arounds? Why don't they use him in those sweep plays? Why is it Chris Godwin? Why is it Jalen Darden? Why is it Julio Jones? Why don't we use the fastest person? Probably because he can't turn. He can run straight line. Straight line's fine because if you know a guy can only run in straight line, you just converge on him because he's never going to fucking move. He's even easier to defend because all you got to do is go, oh, he's picked his hole. Boom. We get it. What you don't want is a guy who can change on a dime and just hit it hard. What we have a problem with is our guys do this dancy little thing and then get hit. That's how I see our punt returns at the moment. This whole notion of you got to pick a hole and hit it. He doesn't pick a hole and hit. He's not going to pick a hole and hit. He's going to catch the ball and run in a straight line because that's all he can do because they will catch him real quick, real fast because I do not believe his turning ability is that good. Otherwise, they would use him on sweep plays. A sweep play with a guy that fat who runs a 40 that fast, who supposedly he argues that he is faster than the cheetah. Surely that makes sense to put him in that position. But we're using an old Julio Jones. There's a reason for it, guys. And it's because he can't turn the corner. He can't get around. He can't make sharp cuts. It's why his route tree's gotten better, and it really has. I'm really impressed with his route tree. But it's not in-breaker. It's not outbreakers. It's not hard angles. It's still vertical with a slight change to it. There you go, ran over.
No, everything you said's right.
I think it's just because everyone assumes because he's fast, he should be really good at returning points. And I think there's a lot more.
Yeah, you got to be able to that. My biggest problem was it was always running for the sidelines when he had room up the field.
Have you seen him catch a high ball as well? Mm-hmm. He always jumps.
Mm-hmm.
And they want him to return punts. He's going to be jumping in the air to catch a punt. That ball's going to bounce off his chest plate, and it's going to go anywhere.
That's true.
That's the biggest problem I see with that, because he can't field anything high or low. If it's a high trajectory, unless it's in his hands like this, how he likes it, this kind of stuff, he jumps up and tries to pull it in. Every time he jumps, because he's not confident enough with his hands. His hands do enough to kind of slow down the ball so he can pull it in. And that's fine. Like it's working for him so far. But for punt returning, just one time that bounces off his chest, it's going to bounce about 10 yards in front of him, and the gunner or whoever they've got will be smothering that ball within 10 seconds flat. Mark my words.
Okay, this is what I see on Darden. Darden's been the team's primary punt returner for the majority of the past 2 seasons. He's averaged 9.4 yards on 50 punt returns, including a 10.6 average on 30 returns this season. Darden also recently took over kickoff return duties, with the team choosing to let their rookie running back Rachaad White focus on his growing role on offense. In 2 seasons, Darden's averaged 20.3 yards on 21 kickoff returns. Through the first 12 games, Darden had only logged 57 snaps on offense, resulting in 2 catches for 26 yards. So it seems like they want somebody that's more rounded.
Possibly. I mean, you can't. The thing is, I think that, and this might be it. Maybe Devin Tompkins might be a better average player in punt return and kick return, whereas Darden is only a punt returner and not a kick returner. Because I'm going through my eyeball test and thinking about it. Yeah, his kick returns were really poor.
Yeah.
So from kickoff, he was really, really poor. He looked lost. His punt returns is what's made him where my arguments are. But I like what you said there, going around more rounded. Maybe someone like Devin Tompkins, they think, okay, well, he's not going to be as good as a punt returner, but as you put the two together, he's more rounded at punt and kick return.
Yeah, it might be.
Well,
that's me playing.
Give me your prediction. Obviously, I know you're going to go Bucs win because this is a Bucs show. We don't pick against, but anyone who picks against the Bucs should be shooting themselves in the foot because I want you to be wrong.
No, the Bucs do that enough. I'm going to say it's 21-17. Bucs.
21-17. I'm gonna go.
Most of the plays are not.
I'm gonna go 20. I'm gonna go 24. I'm gonna go 24-21. Buccaneers edge it out with a field goal to win the game.
Cool.
That's what I get. I do believe this team has the firepower to win and win big if they needed to. I'm just not sold on it going to happen. But look, we all know that the potential of this team is way higher than it is right now. So I'm hoping. I'm going to put it up now. We've all seen Byron Leftwich in that playbook, and sometimes it feels like this. Sometimes it feels like this. Please. I've been saying that I'm hoping to God he's just sitting on plays and he's saving something. But for me, my keys for the Buccaneers to win this game, from an offensive standpoint, need to use those players that no one cares about. They don't have a lot of game film on. Players that are going to go under the radar, like a K-Dot.
Yeah.
Julio Jones. Like Scotty Miller. Everyone's got enough tape on Mike Evans, and they've got enough tape on Chris Godwin because they've been with the team for so long. Use those guys. Use some inventive stuff with. You're going up against a good team. You're going against a good team that can who's got a good pass rush.
Yeah.
Use Leonard Fournette at chipping. Use your tight ends for blocking on occasion, and then once they're biting on their blocks, that's when you start releasing them. How many times have we seen Gronkowski fake going for a block and then just swing it off, catches that ball down the seam?
Right.
If you're running a guy who blocks, guess what? The next time he runs a play, they're going, he's going to block again. Not this time. Can't do it all the time. You do it use it as your little ace in the hole, you should be guaranteeing yardage and field real estate. So for me, that's what we need to do. Utilize those players that no one is thinking about. And then once they're too busy covering them, then Mike Evans will pop open. Chris Godwin will pop open. It will happen.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to say, we got to go look over here.
When I watched that Rams game back, and I remember saying to my wife around about halftime, and I remember saying to her, babe, all Tom Brady needs to do is just trust Tom and stay in the pocket for half a second longer. Those plays will be there. He's just rushing everything, and he's scared to throw the ball to Mike Evans.
Right.
Mike Evans is a cliche, no risk it, no biscuit player. You give him the ball, he's going to give you the biscuit every chance he can get. Why do you think he's got so many touchdowns when he's had people like Jameis Winston throw to him? He's had people like Josh McCown throw to him. He's had people like Ryan Fitzpatrick thrown to him. And he's had people like, I'll go for the last one, Mike Glennon throw to him. And he's still been extremely productive. Why? Because they put it about here above his head. So he has to go about this far and jump into the sky. So you put it around about 7 feet. He's the only guy coming down with it, or nobody comes down with it. It's top shelf, baby. We all like the top shelf liquor. Go get yours. That's what I say. Okay, let's finish this thing up because I think we're running out a bit of content now. As I always say, Teresa, you wake up tomorrow. Obviously, Buccaneers win because they should. You open up that paper. You flip to the sports section, or you open up your phone and you go to the sports section, or the headline for ESPN is
Bucs win battle of the day.
You know what? I have to double down on you, and I completely agree. Battle of the Bays.
Battle of the Bays.
Battle of the Bays. Bucs win Battle of the Bay. Yep.
Because they're miners and we are pirates.
Yes. And it's about time we did something. We need to make some noise because we've been so quiet. Tell you what, the good thing, the weird thing about this, because we have Tom Brady, not many people are calling us trash because they're like, oh, they'll get better. They'll get better. You used to remember Max Kellerman used to say how Tom Brady was going to come off the cliff, and he's completely reversed what he said, and he's now like, yeah, no, I'm not ruling Tom Brady out now. I'm not talking. I'm just like, they could go to the playoffs and still win it. I'm not going against what that guy says anymore because I'm not making. I built a career of being wrong, so I'm not doing it no more.
There you.
Rightfully so. So guys, it's always a pleasure, never a chore. Hopefully this time next week we'll be talking about a San Francisco loss because we won it, and we are then going into Cincinnati. And I've said as we go into these games, the Buccaneers can afford to lose one more game. And I can live with it being either San Francisco or the Bengals. It can't be anyone else. We can't afford to. I could stomach. I'd have to swallow it down. I could stomach a loss to Arizona, but there's no way we are losing to Atlanta and Carolina. We can't do it. We're sealing our fates. Let's not do it early. Let's not pip the game now. Let's go later into the season. We got 5 more games left to play, and it's all to play for. The Buccaneers can come out of this. Oh, we're 6-6. We can come out of this 11-6. Well, last time I remember, the Buccaneers won a Super Bowl on 11-5. So
yeah, anything's possible. You just gotta keep believing.
Just keep believing. And we get hot now, we've got a very, very good chance going into the playoffs. I just don't want us to be one of these teams that stumble into the playoffs, have their home playoff game, and I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. Trying to remember they got the Washington football team, as they were called then, who hosted the playoff game. And granted, I gained so much respect for them as a team, maybe not as a franchise, but as a team. They were galvanized. They looked fantastic, but ultimately they lost the game. And it was a game that everyone said they had no business winning. I don't want the Buccaneers team to just go into the playoffs. Oh, we won it. Remember when back in 2007 when we went to the playoffs and we won and done? Went in there, went back out. Hosted our own game. Yep. We're going to get hosted. If we get this right, we host our own game. We need to win it. Yep. And then we get rolling. Guys, it's always been fun, and hopefully we're talking about a lovely win for the Buccaneers next week. I've been Steve Slick Probert, and next to me, the Jewel of the South, the Georgia Peach herself, Teresa Baxter. Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!
Go Bucs!